Very good morning to you all. Today we will start a new topic which is called Accounting for Non-Profit Organizations. It's related to the course of Accounting Systems. So it's a new topic in the course of Accounting Systems. Here we present a new accounting system which is applied in non-profit organizations. Accounting for non-profit organizations. Accounting system which is applied in non-profit organizations. First of all, we need to define non-profit organization. A non-profit organization, abbreviated NPO. NPO is the abbreviation of non-profit organization. Also called not-for-profit. So we can say accounting for non-profit organizations, or we can say accounting for not-for-profit organization. A non-profit organization is an organization that provides assistance to individuals or groups rather than generating profits for itself. Rather than generating profits for itself. Generating profits for itself is related to commercial organizations, private organizations, which aim to achieve a profit, generating profits for itself. These are a wide range of non-profit organization: charity, church, hospital, schools, as well as association with purpose of science, literature, arts, sports, wildlife protection. In most countries, governments and government agencies are considered a separate type of organization and not counted as NPOs. This is a good point. In most countries, governments and government agency, which you studied governmental accounting in the third year, the first semester in the third year, you did study governmental accounting. It refers to accounting systems that apply in governmental agencies or governmental units. In most countries, governments and government agencies are considered a separate type of organization and not counted as non-profit organizations. So there is a difference between governmental units and non-for-profit or non-profit organization or not-for-profit organization. There is a difference. Governmental units, we apply governmental accounting. On the other hand, non-profit organization, we apply an accounting system related to non-profit organizations, as we mention later. Principal difference between commercial organizations and non-profit organization. There are a number of features which distinguish non-profit organizations from commercial organizations. These are summarized in Table 1.1. So we have a number of features which distinguish non-profit organization from commercial organizations. There is a difference. Now we need to study the difference between non-profit organizations and commercial organizations. Commercial organizations refer to organization aimed to achieve profit. So we need to distinguish between these two types of organizations. There are a number of features, specifically 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 features, 7 characteristics that we can use to compare between commercial organizations and non-profit organizations. The first characteristic or the first feature is called motivation. Commercial organizations, the motivation is profit earning. Non-profit organizations provide programs and services that are of public benefits. The second feature, ownership. Commercial organizations, ownership, partners, and or shareholders. Partners and shareholders. In non-profit organizations, members, no financial benefit. No financial benefit for these members. No financial benefits for these members. So, ownership under commercial organizations, partners and shareholders. Under non-profit organizations, members, no financial benefit. Third feature, management control. Under commercial organizations, partners, board of directors. Under non-profit organization, trustee, unpaid. Capital structure, loans, fixed interest loans, or equity shares. Volunteer funds for non-profit organization. Volunteer funds. Source of income, sales, provision of service, investments. Under non-profit organization, volunteer funds, grants, fee, charges, investments. Source of income. Performance measurement. Under commercial organizations, profitability is one of performance measure. Profitability, dividend growth, capital growth, all of these are measures used for performance measurement. Under non-profit organizations, quality, economy of service, outcomes. Planning decisions based on technological improvements, expansion of activity, quality enhancement, and diversification. Under non-profit organizations, expansion, contraction of activities, funding changes, research fundings. This table summarizes the difference between commercial organizations and non-profit organizations. So we did mention principal difference between commercial organization and non-profit organizations. There are a number of features which distinguish non-profit organizations from commercial organizations. These are summarized in table 1.1. One of the principal difference between commercial organization and non-profit organization is that they have different reasons for their existence. They have different reasons for their existence. While commercial organizations pursue business profits in market transactions and distribute earnings to shareholders. Commercial organizations pursue business profits in market transactions and distribute earnings and distribute income to shareholders. On the other hand, non-profit organizations pursue public benefits and provide programs and services which are often not provided otherwise. Pursue public benefits and provide programs and services. Which are often not provided otherwise. As for non-profit organizations which are not market-oriented, assets are contributed by volunteer funds or governmental grants, which usually have restriction on the usage, but without expectation of repayment or economic return. In most cases, non-profit organizations are exempted from no taxes, due to their contributions to social needs. After we did differentiate between commercial organizations and non-profit organizations, we need to concentrate on the accounting system in non-profit organization. And the accounting system, how accounting system will be different in the case of commercial organization and in the case of non-profit organization. So the title here, accounting distinctions between commercial organizations and NPO. Accounting distinction. Here we will start to concentrate on accounting. Above, we mentioned the difference between the NPO and commercial organizations. But here we will start to concentrate on accounting distinctions between commercial organizations and NPO. There are accounting distinctions in 5 significant areas. There are accounting distinctions. There are accounting differences in 5 significant areas between commercial organizations and NPO, which partly stem from their different objectives. In commercial organizations, the objective is to match revenue and the cost to measure profitability. Definitely, of course. While in NPO, accountability for program activities and stewardship is the objective. The objective is to match in commercial organizations. The objective is to match revenue and the cost to measure profitability for commercial organizations. While in non-profit organizations, accountability for program activities and stewardship is the objective. Accountability. We did mention, but we did mention this accountability, the meaning of accountability in third year in governmental accounting. Accountability. The 5 areas are discussed next. Firstly, the first difference, cash versus accrual accounting. We have 2 bases of accounting, cash and accrual, accrual and cash. Basis of accounting, methods of accounting, cash and accrual. In commercial organizations, the record keeping is always accrual basis. We did mention this during the first year. Principles of financial accounting. Principles of financial accounting in the first year, we did mention this. Accrual basis. The record keeping is always by using accrual basis, which means that all income and charges relating to a financial year shall be considered regardless of date of receipt or payment. So, this point we did mention, we did study this point during the first year semester, first year, and the first semester in the first year. In commercial organizations, the record keeping, bookkeeping, record keeping is always accrual basis, which means that all income and charges relating to a financial year shall be considered regardless of date of receipt or payment. In NBO, the cash basis of accounting is often used instead. We will use cash basis of accounting, which means only transactions with cash payments are recorded. As for the unpaid bills and amounts due, they are ignored. You need to concentrate on these points. Cash-based accounting violates the realization and matching concepts, but it's easier to apply in record keeping. Most small NBO use a cash basis, although many of the medium and larger organizations are now using the accrual basis. NBO, small NBO, use the cash basis, although many of the medium and the larger NB organizations are now using the accrual basis. Some NBO follow a modified form of accounting, which is a combination of accrual basis and cash basis, which makes the picture even more complicated and confusing for readers. Modified form. Follow a modified form. Accrual basis and cash basis. Some other NBO keep their records during the year on a cash basis, but at the end of the year convert to the accrual basis by recording obligations and receivables. No matter what kind of accounting basis different organizations are using, the important thing is that the records kept are appropriate to their nature and fulfill their needs. So this is the first point here, the first area that we need to distinguish between commercial organizations and NPO related to accounting. The first point, cash versus accrual accounting. We have two kinds of accounting basis: cash basis accounting and accrual basis accounting. In some commercial organizations use accrual basis. NPO use cash basis. But also we need to distinguish between small NPO and medium and larger organization NPO. Also, we did mention a modified form of accounting, combination of accrual basis and cash basis. Second area, fund accounting. We did study this point during third year, the first semester. Governmental accounting, fund accounting, fund accounting. Of course, you know the meaning of fund. You did study this kind of accounting during the third year, first semester. Fund accounting. Fund accounting is a method of segregating resources into categories, funds, to identify both the source of funds and the use of funds. We need to identify two important points: the source of funds and the use of funds, which was developed to present fairly the financial transactions unique to non-profit organizations. NPO have to account for funds received, including certain specific funds that have been given for use in a particular project, as well as general obligation to employ the organization resources effectively. The requirement for separated accounting for restricted resources to demonstrate accountability and stewardship is solved by presenting separate financial statements for each fund. Separate financial statements for each fund. That is the major reason why fund accounting is widely used by NPO. So, firstly, we need to know the definition of fund accounting. Fund accounting is a method of segregating resources into categories. It means funds to identify both, to concentrate, to focus, to identify both the source of funds firstly and the use of funds secondly, which was developed to present fairly the financial transactions unique to non-profit organizations. NPO have to account for funds received. So fund accounting is applied in NPOs. NPOs have to account for funds received, including certain specific funds that have been given for use in a particular project, as well as general obligation to employ the organization resources effectively. And this fund we can make presenting. We can present separate financial statements for each fund. That is the major reason why fund accounting is widely used by NPOs. So, this is the meaning of fund accounting, the definition of fund accounting, and fund accounting is applied widely is used widely by NPOs. Inter-fund transfer and appropriations. Inter-fund transfers and appropriations are also unique to NPOs related to non-profit organizations. Inter-fund transfers and appropriations related to NPO by using fund accounting. One relates to the use of transfers to allocate resources between funds. To allocate resources, transfer here, the use of transfer to allocate resources between funds, among funds. And the other relates to the use of appropriations to authorize future expenditure of resources for a specific purpose. Both add to the complexity of financial statements. تبقى transfers to allocate resources among funds, and appropriations relate to authorize future expenditure of resources for a specific purpose. Both add complexity of financial statements. Treatment of fixed assets. Fixed assets. In commercial organizations, fixed assets are always recorded as assets on the balance sheet and are depreciated over their expected useful lives. We did study this point during the first year in second semester. First year, second semester. How to account for fixed assets in commercial organizations. In commercial organizations, fixed assets are always recorded as assets on the balance sheet and are depreciated over their expected useful lives. In non-profit organization, fixed assets are difficult to record, and there is no single generally accepted principle. No single generally accepted principle or practice to follow. Some organizations record and report fixed assets, some don't. Some organizations, some NPOs, non-profit organization, record and report fixed assets, some don't. Some record and report depreciation, some don't. The different treatments of fixed assets cause a lot of confusion. Lastly, the last area to differentiate between accounting in commercial organizations and accounting in non-profit organizations, contributions. In commercial organizations, contribution is not a usual source of income. Is not a usual source of income. Contribution. If the amount is legally owned, it's recorded as accounts receivable. If the amount is legally owned, it's recorded as accounts receivable. In non-profit organization, contributions are the principal source to depend on, and there could be a wide range of restrictions attached to them. Contributions are the principal resource to depend on. And there could be a wide range of restrictions attached to them. Furthermore, contributions to a non-profit organization are not legally enforceable, which makes the case even more complicated. So, The contributions should be recorded in the right fund. In the right fund, at the right time, with the right restrictions. Contributions in non-profit organizations should be recorded in the right fund, at the right time, with the right restriction. So we did mention the five areas that differentiate commercial organizations and non-profit organizations in relating to accounting. The first area, cash versus accrual accounting. Secondly, fund accounting. Thirdly, inter-fund transfers and appropriations. Fourthly, treatment of fixed assets. And lastly, or fifthly, contributions. Good luck.